What's up, guys? That really gross guy here, and we're back. And we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna knock out a quick syndicate mission real quick, but the thing I wanted to do is jump in here and talk to you guys about a new ribbon I managed to get yesterday, and then we'll talk a little bit about a little bit of open world stuff. Talked a little bit about that on my stream, so if you want to, go to twitch.tv/thatreallygrossguy. Anyways, I'll just throw that out there for you guys. But I've been streaming a lot, so for real though, if you do want to check out some streams and whatnot, I would love to have you guys. So, but I'm jumping in here with my Mesa. One of my Mesas. This one is kind of my damage dealing type build. So she is currently running the Tigress Prime, the Twin Comax, as well as the Sarpa, because I feel like the Sarpa is pretty cool. But the idea is the shotgun ribbon mod that I managed to get on my Tigress just yesterday. Well, I managed to unveil it yesterday. I got the actual ribbon when I did the Gara quest, Gara. So I will pop that up on screen now so you guys can see what the actual ribbon does. So this is why I'm a little bit torn on whether I want to keep this ribbon, re-roll it, or I don't think I'm going to sell it. I don't think I'm going to sell it. I mean, a lot of people say that, you know, because the disposition is so low, that it's not really worth keeping. The mod isn't really going to get any better than that unless I get a very specific set of three mod or stats that I really want. But for the most part, I don't think it's all that bad, because with the Toxic and Electric, I am getting a Corrosive proc, which is pretty much what I fundamentally run on my Tigress regardless. And because of that, I think it's fairly decent. And then there is the critical damage. Now, even though the critical chance isn't phenomenal on the Tigress, it's actually not too bad. Now, the whole idea with the pellets, you know, the splitting of the pellets and the status, you know, thing, and the crit type deal when it comes to shotguns, makes this kind of one of those instances where it's like, even though that's a decent set of stat bonuses, some people would consider this a ribbon that is not worth keeping, or at least re-rolling and hoping to get maybe status and like, I think maybe the ideal would be the elemental combination that you really want, and then a status chance instead of crit chance or crit damage. But I'm curious what your guys' opinions are, because some people are torn. Some people say, you know what, it's not bad, but it's a poor disposition, so it's up to you if you want to replace a mod with it. And I actually don't think it's that bad, because like I said, I can still put my dual stat poison and electric mod on this to increase my corrosive even further, and then I just kind of have to hope I get a crit here or there to increase that extra damage. It might be worth re-rolling a couple times to hopefully get something slightly better, but honestly, I have other ribbons that probably could use the Kuva a little bit more, so for now, I think I'm gonna let it sit as is. But I'm curious what you guys think about this specific ribbon. Would you keep it? I know a lot of you would probably be like, just give it to me, just give it to me. But I mean, I get ribbons so sparingly that I'm afraid to kind of pass this one off, because I may not get a ribbon anytime soon, especially a Tigress ribbon, you know. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. But anyways, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about the ribbon. I'm curious, like I said, what do you think? And also, one thing that I did want to talk about is a little bit of the open world type stuff. Now, one thing that I've kind of talked about a little bit in the past is where I think Plains of Eidolon is heading. And part of that is because when we go through the plains, there are a lot of areas where it's very open, and you don't really, you know, you don't run into, you know, Grineer troops, you know, patrolling the area. You kind of have a decent area where you can like do fishing without being bothered and stuff like that. And I like that. The world is, the open world is fairly big, but it's not like there's a ton to do in it right now, at least. Obviously there is the Eidolon, and that's what a lot of people are attracted to. But even at nighttime, if you're not choosing to fight the Eidolon, you kind of struggle to really do a whole lot, unless you're farming for those sentient cores and stuff like that. The sentient cores are great and all, but Those newer players especially, they're not going out at night. But us veteran players, once we run out of, like, if we don't need cores, I think we're gonna, we'll probably run out of things to do. Now, like I said, I think that this is just kind of an entry level, or an entrance, or a introduction to the open world portion of the game, and I think there's look at it, guys, bam. I think there's going to be more content coming our way on the plains very soon. Part of the reason is because when you go down into the mines in the Grenier places, there's a couple locations where there's like a locked door, and there's no way to get in this locked door. There's no terminal you can hack. Sorry, terminal that you can hack. There's no way in. So I'm assuming that in the future we're gonna start gaining access to doors like this, or doors like this door, but with like a terminal or something. Or I'm curious, this is something I actually talked about way long time ago when I was just joking, and I wasn't joking, but I was kind of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Warframe found a way to be open world? And I was talking about, hey, what if we were like, let's say, is there a door around here that is locked? There's probably one, not here, but over here. Yeah, let's say this door is locked, we're in the open world or something like that, and we were able to come up here and hit X or whatever and queue up with our party, and then our party could opt in to maybe going and doing a mission. And then what happens is, let's say when you're in the tunnel and you come to one of these doors and you start a queue, maybe you at the start of the next mission, you basically come out of the tunnel and you're in a tile set similar to like the Earth tile set, where you now have a mission to run. Maybe it's an assassination or a sabotage or something like that. Maybe that's the direction they're going. I personally think that they may eventually try to get every planet basically that has a surface, maybe even not even has a surface. Maybe they create like a giant open world like space station type deal, and kind of what we do is maybe get in a drop pod and land on another ship, or we get blasted off onto another ship and then we run one of these tile sets. I think for the most part, one day they will be getting rid of just the planet overview, with the nodes on it and stuff like that. It may be somewhat implemented, like maybe it's on our ship, because if you guys have seen DE Steve's personal live stream, they're working on a personal transport like ship that you can put your rampart or guns on or whatever, and you can actually board other ships and do stuff like that. So I think one day we will stray away from actually having these worlds with nodes on it, and we will eventually be flying maybe to open world, and then from there we might be able to queue up for some missions. Kind of like I was saying, you have the open world and you find a location that you might have to struggle to get to, and then you can queue up for a mission. For instance, let's say the assassination on let's say, because we have seen Plains of Eidolon, let's say that the assassination mission is on the far side of the plains where the enemies are level 45 and above or something like that, and then you have to bait your way through a base and then get to a door to queue up for the assassination mission or something like that. I don't know. Would that be cool? Do you guys think that's interesting? Do you guys think that that's the way they're heading? Or do you think that's just not going to happen? I mean, I've been right before. And like I said, I wasn't actually expecting Warframe to go open world, but sure enough, they did. Well, sort of. They sort of did. But I think they're leaning that way. Now, like I said, I don't think everywhere is going to end up open world. There's always going to be stuff that is unfortunately closed off to certain things, kind of like the way the trials are now, where we have access to, for the most part, the whole world, but you have to jump through some hoops in order to get the components and do stuff in order to opt into a trial, and then you have to queue up with 8 people for the trial, well, 4 to 8 people for the trial, and run it that way. I don't know if we'll ever get away from some sort of queue, in between when it comes to some of these missions. So I'm curious. What do you guys think? Or do you guys have your own idea of what you would like to see, or maybe where do you think Warframe is going with this? I recently had someone in chat, or yeah, was it chat? maybe it was I think it was definitely a chat, but it was maybe in my stream. But someone said Plains of Eidolon is just gonna die, just like all the other stuff that Digital Extremes has worked on. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, we are seeing traffic to Warframe higher than we pretty much ever have in the past, you know. Like there's like 30 million registered users at this point. You're saying that Warframe is dying, and Plains of Eidolon is gonna you know, there's never gonna be another open world. Basically, you said that. Someone said that was the question someone asked, is what do you think the next open world will be? And we've kind of already revealed that it's going to be Venus, and we'll talk about that more a little in just a second. But it's going to be Venus, and this guy said they're not doing any more open worlds because it's going to fail, just like all the other stuff DE has worked on. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I understand that Dark Sectors is going through a moment right now, but Dark Sectors wasn't necessarily the best received, you know, update that's ever come out. You know, it had a little bit of issues, and it needed stuff that needed to be worked on. Plains, yeah, it has some bugs and stuff, but people are looking past a lot of the bugs. I know that's, you know, they want them fixed, obviously, but people are joining and climbing into the Plains of Eidolon in droves. When you drop into Plains out of your Lisette, there's like person after person. Every like 2 seconds, there's another person dropping in. People are playing Plains like crazy, so this guy can't be further from the truth, so in my opinion. But anyways, why am I not using my Shatter Shield? But yeah, so I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think? I mean, do you think Plains is, you know, I'm asking you guys a lot of questions, but I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. But yeah, anyways, like we were saying, Venus. I just want to point out, I did see a video by Headshot, and I'm not afraid to mention his name because he's a great content creator. If you're not subscribed to him, you know, jump on over there. But he just did a video about, you know, I believe if you see good content, acknowledge it, especially if you're going to refer to it on your video. It's just, I don't know, out of respect, you know. But Headshot did a video on like some content that he would like to see when it comes to the Plains of Eidolon, and that has to do with stuff like Crossfire missions, because the Grineer are pretty much the only presence on Earth right now. But he's like, what if the Corpus got involved? What if they would, you know, dropped in, you know, a Jackal or something, or some ambulance units, and they started attacking some of the Grineer bases? That would make the Plains a little bit more alive. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I've always thought like we need to get the Corpus involved somehow. But the point that he actually referred to the Crossfire missions was like, you know what? We already have you know, the idea of a Crossfire mission in game. If we could somehow implement that into the Plains, that would be awesome. But he goes into depth on a lot of that stuff and makes some good points. I don't want to reiterate it here because it just doesn't feel right. So definitely check out his video that he recently did. But yeah, I just think it's a good idea. But I was thinking kind of Venus, because Venus is currently a Corpus planet, and Venus is supposed to be the next location, open world location that we could possibly move to. And because of that, I'm personally hoping that, I mean, once Digital Extremes has done something once, it's a lot easier for them to do it again. That pretty much is happens with anybody. Like, first time you tied your shoes was probably, you know, when you were a kid. I'm hoping wasn't really all that difficult, or I mean it was difficult as a kid learning to do a new thing like that. But after you've done it, you know, once, you probably have a better idea how to do it a second time. And then obviously it's going to get a little bit better from that after they've done it 2-3 times, after they've worked out bugs and stuff like that on the first iteration. They'll probably do a lot better job on the second iteration. So I'm just saying. But anyways, when it comes to Venus, I think, I would really like to see if they can get it so that it actually functions fairly well across, you know, everyone's different types of computers, and when it comes to textures and stuff, they can make it. But I would like to see a little bit more density. I would like to see maybe some bases a little bit closer, or I don't know if I want to see as like a bunch of drop pods, you know, dropping in enemies. I want to see like a busy atmosphere of like Corpus being active. You know, patrols maybe. You know, because we've seen the current Corpus like base tile sets where there's like a structure and then there's like catwalks that travel between structure to structure. I would love to see something like that where you've got, you know, like patrols maybe walking across catwalks and you're walking on the surface where the Corpus bases are, you know, hanging around all over the place, stuff like that. And I would love to see, like I said, more activity, more, you know, more going on. Maybe Corpus dropships flying by carrying units, and maybe if you know, kind of like the planes are now, where if you aggro them, they'll kind of turn around and drop off, or maybe if they're just cargo ships. You know what I mean? I'd love to see a little bit of busyness when it comes to the Corpus, because, you know, even though the Grineer are kind of like the laborers, I feel like the Corpus are pretty busy. You know, like when it comes to their technology and stuff, who's moving all that technology, all that equipment from, you know, base to base or laboratory to laboratory? I mean, they have robotics and stuff that do all this crazy stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of their machines and a lot of their production is mostly automated. You know what I mean? So I would love to see like a busy Corpus, you know, open world type deal. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Part of what I also would like to see is, I don't know if we're gonna see an Eidolon on Venus, but personally, if you guys have seen in the past on one of the dev streams, we saw the new Jackal / Hyena attack type units. They're the large, you know, they kind of look like advanced Razorbacks or you know, Jackals or whatever, and they look pretty badass. There's 3 large ones and a small one that's more like one of the hyenas, more like a Zanuka. And these things, I think, are going to hunt you. I don't remember exactly. It sounded like it's a revamped hyena pack or something like that. But if that's true, I am assuming that these are going to be enemies we will face in the Corpus open world. Could you imagine, instead of Eidolons, maybe there's like alert phases on Venus, and at some point during the day, or if the alert level gets high enough, that these guys come out to play. You know what I mean? Instead of the Eidolons, we get like these big Jackal or Zanuka style hunters that come out, and maybe accompanied by some other Corpus and stuff to take us out, to get us off their planet, you know, stop us from destroying their valuable technology and stuff like that. I think that'd be sick. If you guys have ever played like the Grand Theft Auto series, I'm thinking along the lines of like, you know, you get a regular alert phase, kind of like you already do, where, oh, all the Grineer are aware that you're on the planet and they start patrolling pretty hard to find you. And then the second one is like, oh, they're or not the Grineer, the Corpus, and the Corpus are, you know, second alert is the Corpus are pretty much know where you're at and they're trying to send some troops at you. The third is like, they're trying to hunt you down. They're doing everything they can. Maybe they're bringing out an ambulance unit or 2 or something like that. Maybe you hit alert level 4 and then you see like a basic Zanuka hunter, and then maybe alert 5 or something is like, all right, we need to put this to an end. They get Jackals or Razorbacks or these new hyena, Jackal, whatever machines to come and get you. You know what I mean? That would be pretty sweet. And then maybe, you know, it would be like a once a day thing. I accidentally put an energy pizza down and not a health pizza. Damn it. But anyways, those are my predictions. I don't know. I think that would be pretty freaking awesome. DE, if you are watching, you know, let me know if I inspired you a little bit, because that would be freaking cool. If I can make even a little bit of, you know, inspiration to Warframe, if I could get like a weapon in game, because I have a couple of concepts up here in my head, or if I could get my voice in game or something, dude, I would be more than happy. DE, if you were listening, I will. I mean, I don't know. It's a skill that you might have to learn, but if you have like a character that you need voice acted, I will straight up. I will come up there and I will do it. I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking to get paid. I'm looking for freaking. I would just love to be implemented or have my idea, my inspiration put somewhere in game. That would be the coolest thing on the freaking planet, dude. I'd be so happy. But anyways, if you guys would like to see that, if you guys would like to see my voice in game, or you would like me to voice maybe a wise old, I don't know. Well, could you imagine like if there was a someone that the Tenno, like an ancient person or something that the Tenno went and talked to, and you go up in there and you're just like, or this ancient warrior or whatever, like, Tenno, I see you've come a long way to talk to me. You know, it's just like, it's like, I have something for you, or you've come to me seeking knowledge. I'd be like, if I could voice act like a wise old, like, it's, dude, I may not be able to do. I mean, I don't know. I probably don't have the skill, but if I could voice something and they could tweak it, obviously they got the technology to make me sound better than I already sound. So I mean, come on. I'm down. PE, just you know, send me an email. You got my email. Send me an email, and I'll come out there for sure. I will drive there. I could drive there. I drove there for TennoCon. I could drive there for this. I definitely. All right, but anyways, we're gonna get on out of here. Let me know what you think. You know, when it comes to the Eidolon stuff or the Riven, the Eidolon stuff, we covered a lot. We did you know, the Eidolon, the planes of Eidolon, what we could possibly see in the future of the planes, and then what could we see in Venus, and then yeah, just let me know. Just put in chat. Just put in chat or in the comments. Be like, hey. I think you should do a voice act for somebody. I'll be like, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope there's a little bit of inspiration in there or something you got out of this. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Blah!